Imagine this. 2 million people, families, children, elders, all walking on foot into the open desert with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Behind them, the most powerful military force in the ancient world, 600 chariots, officers, soldiers, all thundering toward them at full speed. In front of them, the Red Sea, impassable, deadly. No boats, no bridge, no escape route. They're trapped between an impossible ocean and an unstoppable army. And then something happens that should never have happened, something that changes everything. This is the Exodus, and this is not the story you think you know. In the next 10 minutes, we're going to walk through one of history's most documented miracles, the moment God opened the sea and led 2 million enslaved people to freedom. But we're not going to tell you a fairy tale. We're going to look at what actually happened, the geology, the timing, the impossible coordination. And we're going to ask the hardest question. How do you explain what happened at the Red Sea? It's 1446 BC. Egypt is at the height of its power. The Nile Valley is the center of the known world. And in the labor camps along the river, Hebrew slaves work from sunrise to sunset, building monuments that will stand for thousands of years. They are property. Their children are property. Their future is property. For 400 years they've been in bondage, but something shifts. A man named Moses, raised as an Egyptian prince but Hebrew by birth, has confronted Pharaoh with a message, "Let my people go." Pharaoh refuses, so God sends 10 plagues. Water turns to blood. Locusts consume the crops. Darkness covers the land. Disease, hail, frogs, each one destroying what Pharaoh refuses to surrender. And finally, the last plague. Every firstborn son in Egypt dies in a single night. Only the Hebrew families are spared, marked by the blood of a lamb on their doorposts. This is the Passover. And in that one night, Pharaoh's resistance shatters. He releases them. 2 million people leave Egypt in chaos. They're not prepared. They don't have supplies. They're running. And within hours, Pharaoh changes his mind. His army mobilizes. 600 chariots, the fastest military force in the world. And they're coming. The Israelites reach the Red Sea. And here's where we need to pause and understand something critical. This is not a strategic position. This is a trap. They have the sea in front of them. Behind them, the Egyptian army is visible on the horizon, dust clouds rising, chariots thundering across the desert. The Israelites panic. Some turn to Moses and say, "Why did you bring us out here to die? It would have been better to stay enslaved in Egypt than to die in this desert." And Moses does something that seems insane. He says, "Stand firm. Watch what the Lord will do. You will not see these Egyptians again, but they can see them. They're right there. This isn't faith, this is suicide. Or is it?" Moses raises his staff. And then, something happens. A wind comes, not a breeze. A wind so powerful it pushes the sea back. The text says the sea was driven back by a strong east wind all that night. The water recedes. The seabed is exposed. Dry ground appears. What was impossible moments before becomes navigable. The Israelites begin to move forward, families walking on the bottom of the sea, children holding parents' hands. Walking on ground that minutes earlier was 50 feet underwater. Now here's where we need to ask a hard question. What was this wind? Was it literal? Yes, the text is clear. An east wind pushed the water back. But was it only wind? Or was it wind at exactly the right moment, with exactly the right force in exactly the right direction, to create exactly the right corridor of escape? The Israelites cross. It takes time. 2 million people don't run across the seabed in minutes. They walk. They move deliberately. Children are carried. Elders are supported. The process takes hours. And during those hours, the Egyptian army is approaching. They see the opening. They see the pathway through the sea. They see an opportunity. So they charge into the seabed. Chariots, horses, soldiers, all pursuing the Israelites into that narrow corridor of exposed ground. But then, and this is critical, the wind stops. The walls of water that were held back by the east wind collapse. The sea returns, not gradually, all at once. A massive wall of water crashes down on the Egyptian army. Every chariot overturns, every horse drowns. Every soldier in the seabed perishes. The Israelites reach the other side. They turn around. They see their oppressors, the people who enslaved them for 400 years, dead in the sea. And they understand something. They are free, not just released, transformed. They are no longer slaves. They are a people with a future. This is the moment that defines everything. This is not just an escape story. This is the moment Israel becomes Israel. Before this, they were enslaved people. After this, they are a covenant people. This is the moment God proves something, that he is more powerful than Pharaoh, that he is more powerful than Egypt's military, that he keeps his promises, that he sees the oppressed and acts on their behalf. And here's what's revolutionary. God doesn't save them from something. He saves them for something. This isn't the end of their story. It's the beginning. The Red Sea is not the destination. It's the doorway. If you're following this story with us, hit that like button. And if you want to know what happens next, the 40 years in the wilderness, the manna from heaven, the covenant at Mount Sinai, subscribe to the channel. We're breaking down the Bible's story arc piece by piece, and this is just the beginning. So what happened at the Red Sea? Was it a miracle? Yes. Was it natural? Also yes, a wind pushing back water is natural. But a wind that arrives at exactly the moment it's needed, with exactly the force required, in exactly the direction that creates an escape route. That's not coincidence. That's providence. That's a God who orchestrates history. And here's what matters for us today. The Red Sea didn't just happen in ancient Egypt. It happens whenever someone is trapped, enslaved by addiction, by poverty, by shame, by fear. It discovers that freedom is possible. It happens when you realize that the walls closing in on you can be moved. It happens when you understand that your past doesn't define your future. The Israelites walked on dry ground where there should have been an ocean. They crossed into a new reality. And so can you. But the crossing was just the beginning. Because after they left Egypt, they faced 40 years in the wilderness. 40 years without cities, without security, without the comfort of slavery. They had freedom, but freedom without direction is chaos. And that's where the next part of the story begins, at Mount Sinai, where God gives them something even more important than escape. He gives them identity. He gives them purpose. He gives them a covenant. The question is, will they accept it? Or will they reject it and demand to go back to Egypt? That's next. Stay tuned.